Hey guys, Hippopotamus, back today again with another video, and today I'm going to be showing off, well, I don't really know what the hell to call this, but it's a tank build, okay, and it's taken advantage of the recent buff with the Bighorn, a mechanic that a lot of players are abusing in the DZ, but I have taken that idea and then gone, I wonder if that works in PvE, and guess what, it's not bad. So, let's show the build dead quick, and then we can get onto all the how things work. So, just briefly, to start off with, I mean, why wouldn't you start at the medkit? A 200% medkit is crazy over 10 seconds. That's amazing. We do receive repairs, so health on kill is quite useful. It can keep us, if we lose all our armor, and then we start getting kills and start sort of getting back in the swing of things, we do have Bloodsucker, which can create like a safety net for us to heal our armor, but we can also, as we get kills, get health back underneath too. So this is reasonably good for the build that we're using. If we get into a bad situation where we're just completely low, something happens, we've got a way of not only healing armor, but we also have a way of healing our health as well, which is really good. The burn duration, that ties in with the PvE talent just over here, which is the fiery response. On armor break, you apply burn to an enemy within 5 meters. That's actually quite good. If somebody does sort of break your armor, they will stop shooting at you and they will be set on fire. So yeah, I think that's quite useful. So the next piece is the striker shield, and we will be using this shield because it's got more health in it, just a little bit, and it also does a little bit more damage. It also helps your teammates do damage as well if they stand in the area behind you. And as you are a tank, you're going to be up front quite a bit. So it's got quite a few benefits that will help you and your team. The Firewall Tactical Link, just deal 10% damage to enemies that are within 10 meters of you. I mean, that's good, you know, your allies, especially if they're stood in your little shield behind you, that's going to give them 10%, and then this is also going to give them 10, so it's like 20% if they follow behind you. The cover move, the Bull Rush, again, that's good if you're like low on health and you just want to cover out of a bad situation. That can be quite helpful. And then the synergizing weapons, in this case we are using an SMG and an assault rifle. Right, lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. So let's go take a look at the build, and I'm quite excited to show you this one because it has used a mechanic that has been seen in PvP and it's brought it over to PvE and it works quite well. So let's just start with the first weapon here. I'm using Emmeline's Guard. This is an offhand weapon, and what I mean by offhand weapon is I only pull this out when an enemy is very, very weak or an enemy is at low health. So let's just go through it. It has SMG damage, crit hit chance, and damage to targets out of cover, and it has the talent Perfect Preservation. This is the reason why I'm using it, Preservation. And what this does is, it's killing an enemy repairs 15% of your armor over 5 seconds, and then headshot kills improve the repairs by an additional 15%. So up to 30% armor on a kill over 5 seconds. That's crazy. I do want to say, what I have done is I've used the 15% headshot damage mod, the low reflex sight. What that does is it gives you more headshot damage, like 5% extra, but sort of like nerfs your optimal range. And with it being an SMG, nerfing optimal range is not going to be great if it falls off. You know, you're not really going to be using this at long range for the most part, but losing optimal range is not really great. So I have decided to counteract that with the loud vent break, which gives me 50%. So basically I'm gaining 25% optimal range after the nerf. That's just going to help when I see an enemy just a little bit outside of normal ranges, but the drop off, you know, it's not going to be as good as our main weapon, which I'll go through in just a second. All right, so we get to the Bighorn. Now, recently I released a video with the Bighorn for PvP, and this takes that same concept of shooting at the head and using the talent, but uses it for PvE. So the Bighorn, what is it? What does it do? Well, this gun has got the usual sort of assault rifle damage, health damage, and damage to targets out of cover rolled onto it. Been quite lucky there. Nice one. 15 extra weapon damage ranks in expertise. You know, you can add more you don't need as much. It's still going to work for you, but it's the talent that we're interested in. It's this big game hunter. So when scoped, it switches to a semi-automatic fire mode, so like a rifle, I guess, single shot, and does 450% extra weapon damage with each shot, which is really good. Like it's you know, really good if you're shooting at enemies at range. But more importantly, it's this headshots grants 6% headshot damage, stacks up to 25 times. Once at full stacks, 10 stacks decay every 4 seconds until all stacks have been removed. Headshots delay decaying stacks. So, you know, if you keep getting headshots, you're not going to lose the bonus. But the thing is, we are going to be so close to enemies that it's going to be hard not to headshot them. Okay, so just as I normally do, TDI card, go through this most videos. It just comes with the extra skill tier. With me being a tank, I have like no skill tiers. So what this is going to do is, if I run in and like 2 people are on the floor, I've got 2 shots in my hive when I'm holding my pistol. And I can pick them both up, or if it's like a bad situation and I don't want to just stand there picking somebody up, drop the hive, pick them up, pick up my hive, and I've still got the hive shot for myself. So if I go down, I'm not wasting that by potentially picking somebody up and then me going down. It comes rolled with preservation, again, just with the talent preservation, because why wouldn't you? If you kill an enemy, it's that 10% over 5 seconds, and then headshots again is over 10 seconds. Remembering that we are rolled with headshot damage mods, okay? So headshot damage is something that you're going to see here, again, stacked up a little bit. So I guess I will start with the... Let's be interested and start with the gear set first, and then we'll go through the other pieces, because I've got a little bit more to talk about with those pieces, okay? So, we're using a 4-piece of Foundry Bulwark, okay? So we might as well go through the gear set, if I can speak, first, and then we'll go through each one and just show you quickly what it's got on it. So 2 pieces, 10% total armor, making us more tanky. 3 pieces, 1% armor regen, very good, and 50% extra shield health, okay? We are taking a weaker shield than the Bulwark, so that 50% extra shield health is very welcomed. It's still not going to make it invincible, but it's going to make it take that little bit more damage, which is great, because we aren't using the big shield in this, and you'll see more from that. Okay, so, and then 4 pieces is makeshift repairs. Whenever you or your shield take damage, 25% of that amount is repaired to both over 10 seconds. Okay, so it's going to heal you, it's going to heal your shield. Very nice. You're going to see all the pieces rolled the same way. They are just armor and armor regen, and then wherever possible, a headshot damage mod included. Okay, so we have the gloves, again, armor, armor regen, armor, armor regen, armor, armor regen. Right, so let's start with the backpack, because this is quite easy to explain. It's the Liquid Engineer. So this is the named Bellstone piece, and it's got armor regen on it. It's 1%, so that's 2% with the gear set that we've got on. So with the Foundry, we get the 1, and then here we get the 1, giving us 2. That's like we're in 3-piece of Gila, basically. So the core attribute is armor. It's got armor regen, and then it's got headshot damage and a headshot damage mod stacked into it. So we're playing into that headshot damage. Headshot damage is where we're getting our damage from, and this is directly related to this talent. So Bloodsucker, killing an enemy, adds and refreshes a stack of 12% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Max stacks is 10, so effectively it's like 120% bonus armor. The only problem with Bloodsucker, and most people will probably agree with me on this, is that if you don't get kills quick enough, this bonus isn't going to help you. And when you're all blue, you're not really generally going to be able to get kills fast enough. That's what got me thinking. How could I stay all blue and still proc this talent consistently? The answer, headshot damage and the Bighorn, like people are doing in PvP. It works so well. Okay, so I think that's explained that for the most part. Now, this is the controversial piece. Something that you can change if you don't feel that it suits you or you disagree with what I'm saying here. You might put something like, I don't know, the tardigrade on. That would be a great piece for your team. If their armor breaks, it gives everybody armor. I am using the Provocator, and there is a reason for this, and I'll explain it in just a second. This comes rolled with armor, armor regen, and hazard protection, and it has a 10% headshot damage mod. Right, so why am I using this? Because it's universally agreed upon that this piece is just not great for really anything other than tank builds, but in this particular case, we are a tank build. So receive 25% damage resistance from enemies that are within 20 meters. I mean, it's like 25% damage resistance from not just gold enemies, elites, but also, veterans and the regulars. So the purples and the red enemies. We're just getting a straight up 25% damage resistance. Now, quote me if I'm wrong, and please tell me in the comments, but I believe that 25% damage resistance also applies to your shield. That gives your shield 25% extra damage resistance as well. So, you've got to be within range, but generally with a tank build, we are going to be stood in people's faces, and it's just going to give us that little bit of extra value. So the damage resistance, when we do get our Bloodsucker stacks, if we take damage and they're in that sort of range, they're going to do 25% less damage, and it means that we're going to be able to keep those over armor stacks a little better than what we normally could. Again, if you disagree, you can change to whatever piece you want here. That's completely up to you, but that is my logic and thinking behind it, and I hope that kind of makes sense. Right, so I have a Reviver Hive. Again, plays into holding the pistol, picking yourself up. We don't have Unbreakable. Things can go wrong. Sometimes you don't have teammates to pick you up. It's just my choice to give me that safety net if I do something stupid, which I usually do, to be able to get back up on my feet and start, either get away or keep fighting. So, for the shield, we are using the Striker Shield. The reason why we're using this one again is because of the damage zone. Gives you more damage, helps your team, but it also has more health. We can see that it's got an in-slot mod of shield health, and then you can just pop in shield mode health mods and shield damage per enemy, which is going to help you with your damage. So this is a great shield to use. Really, really, really helps a lot. The cluster grenades, on this build, no. They're not really going to help you. If enemies are in a confined space, yeah, not bad, but the value you're going to get out of them is very, very minuscule. Right, let's go and quickly look at the stat sheet because I've talked too much, and then quickly go over the build, trying to keep the times of the videos down. So, we have Perfect Preservation, Big Game Hunter, and Preservation. Weapon damage is quite low. It's just the headshot damage that we're looking at, and you will see that if we look at headshot damage is reasonably high. Okay. Again, weapon damage is low, but the way that we are getting weapon damage is through headshots, which we'll see in just a second. Gear talents is Perfect Bloodsucker and the Challenger talent. Feel free to change this one if you disagree. We're using 4 pieces of Foundry, 1 piece of Bellstone, and then whatever chest you want. I'm using the Provocator again. Change here as you want. Little over 2 million, nearly 2.1. Ranks of Expertise will help with this. Again, something that I will mention is the more armor you have. Expertise on gear that is like weapon damage or skill tiers, giving you extra armor is not really great. When you have armor tiers on your gear, you get more bang for your buck, and this regeneration will become higher. I'm currently sat at 70,000. Not bad, I think, really, to be fair. It's not a terrible number, and again, if I drop more expertise ranks into my gear, I might be sat near 80, possibly 85. Okay, so we have the Reviver Hive, which is great. And then, obviously, with us taking all the skill health mods that we've got, this shield has got like 5.4 million. That's quite a lot. It's quite a lot more than normal as well, and considering the fact that it's going to heal when it takes damage, it's going to keep that shield up for much longer and allows us to use the weapons that we want to use. Okay? Right, so onto the build. Let's change the range. Oh dear, we don't want to be looking at normal, we want to be looking at heroic. So, just a quick mistake there, we'll get that changed. Right, so let's just get we'll say maybe an invulnerable enemy at first and just benchmark the numbers, and then I'll go through the different types of enemies. So, the main weapon we're going to use is obviously the Bighorn. And you can see as we get stats, 478 on a headshot and 531 on a crit. I mean, that's just crazy. That's not even sensible damage, really. And you know what? Just to make sure that I'm actually 100% accurately reflecting that, we don't want any extra modifiers. And let's see. I'm pretty certain the numbers will be the same. Okay, so yeah, exactly. Crazy, 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 crazy damage. Obviously, we're on health right now. You know, we might want to do an elite. Let's just get fully stacked up on the enemy. The reason I'm spending a bit more time showing you this is just because. Okay, so it's still a lot. Okay, it's just because the damage that it does. So generally, as a rule, you know, you can use this gun to tackle any enemy, a boss, whatever. The damage you're going to do is good. Now, you notice I had the Emmeline's Guard, and what I meant by, like, when we get hurt, is that you're going to aim for a weak enemy, alright? Somebody that's already been damaged, or blah, 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 blah. Let's go right down to health as well, to show off the health that we can get back, right? Look, there's a weak enemy over there. Now, all of a sudden, look at that regen. You know, while that's active, that's crazy. That's a crazy amount. So, little red enemies or weaker enemies, we can pick on these enemies, just get very close, use the headshot damage to our advantage. So, the other thing that we're going to do is, as well, let's try a veteran enemy, because it's in between an elite and in between a red, and let's see how well we can stack up this now. Okay. Throw a gold enemy in there. I mean, we're killing elites like pretty much in one magazine. Obviously, group scaling is just me, so you might take a couple of magazines, but, you know, if you pick weaker enemies, this damage is still nothing to sniff at. By the time we get finished, the amount of survivability that we have is just, I mean, that's crazy really, isn't it? Look at that. That's just insane. So yeah, is there anything else to show you? Probably not. The grenades, you know, use them when people are in close confined areas. The pistol gives us an extra shot in our hive, so we can pick 2 people up rather than 1. And yeah, that's pretty much, for the most part, it. Again, guys, I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. I'm not great at editing. It's something that I will do in time, but please just bear with me. If you want to see gameplay, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll do that for you. As always, thanks very much. I appreciate all the support recently, and see you in the next one.